lost in the rabbit hole. Connect every emotion, experience, adventure, struggle, pain, and achievement. Know the past, feel the future, and live this moment with Nisha Harale. Every Sunday on Niche Radio.
Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in to our 18th episode of Let's Get Lost in the Rabbit Hole with me, Nisha Harale, on Niche Radio. And in conversation with me today is the super talented music producer, DJ, and founder of Superb Records. Let's say hello to Ash Roy. Hi Ash, are you all set to get lost in the rabbit hole?
Yes, all set to get lost in the rabbit hole. Let's do it.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Calcutta.
Did you always wanted to become a music artist?
I always wanted to be a musician since childhood. I wanted to, basically I learned how to play the tabla. I used to dance. Then I used to sing for the school choir. So yeah, music when I was really young was in me. So yeah.
Did your family support your dreams or did you have a difficult time convincing them?
I had a difficult time convincing my mother. My dad was always supporting me right till the end. And initially in the beginning, it was difficult for me to convince her. But once everything fell in place, then there was no looking back.
Let's go back in time. Which was that first instrument that you picked?
First instrument I got was a small Casio keyboard, which my mum's brother had got for me. But what I learned is the tabla.
How was your first ever experience of playing? And of course, your first ever experience of having people dance to your track?
Before I joined a club and started playing professionally, it was always in private parties. So obviously the first experience was I was nervous because I was doing it for the first time. Plus when I gave my audition in a nightclub to play, I was nervous as well. So first experience was nervous. How I felt when people responded to my track, it was amazing. It felt really, really overwhelming, and to see that people are enjoying your music.
Did you ever goof up at an event?
The record that was playing, I just lifted the arm and the needle from the record, so the music stopped. But yes, that's a part and parcel of your whole DJing experience.
At an underground music event, did anyone come and ask you for a request, and how did you handle it?
I used to just nod my head and eventually not play the request. But yeah, it depends on the situation, how you deal with the person's request. And obviously, if it fits your set, then you can play it, otherwise not.
You're a music producer and a DJ. Is it tough managing both?
Yes, if you've been gigging for 2 or 3 gigs on the weekend and then you have your weekdays to sit in the studio and produce music, it is tough because you're back home on Sunday night or Monday morning, and then you need to recover. So you need 2 days to recover, and then the third day you get back to the studio and start making music again. But managing both, no, I've been managing both for a long time now, and it's they go hand in hand. You need to produce music. You need to when you play as a DJ, you need to also play your music. Sometimes you get to do live sets, so it's actually goes hand in hand, and you need to manage it.
You recently released your brand new 4-track solo EP, which has got great reviews. Tell us something more about it.
Well, it was during the lockdown when it hit us hard, and I had just gotten to the studio and started work on new music and material, and I wanted to try and change my sound a bit and see what I can come up with. So I picked up the pace, started making more dance floor friendly. Though there were no dance floors, but I just started experimenting on that style of music, and so these 4 tracks came about, and I released it as an EP on my label Superb Records, and the EP is called Tesseract.
From producing your own music and playing at many festivals and music events across the globe, and to now having your own record label called Superb Records, how has that journey been?
Before I launched Superb Records, I had a live electronic act called Jalebi Cartel, and with the band, I was traveling a lot and playing a lot of festivals and venues all over the world. At that time, we decided to release our music on different labels and imprints of other friends and other DJs. But then later on, when the band had split up and we went our different ways, Ashwin and I decided to launch the label together. And then basically it was a platform to showcase our style of music and also give a platform to upcoming artists in India and abroad so that they can express themselves freely and not be bound to a particular label sound. So it's been really good. It's been 7.5 years now, and we're already on our 100th release. Lots of releases are lined up from artists from all over the world, and really cool artists with their unique styles. So lots in store.
What makes a good DJ?
Track selection, mixing skills, presentation, and creativity. That makes a good DJ.
What makes a good music producer?
A good music producer is a person who thinks out of the box and makes music that touches your soul in whatever style or genre of music he or she produces, and not to copy or ape someone else. That makes a good music producer.
A music producer and a DJ are two different sides of the same coin. It's said that they both need each other, they both go hand in glove. With your experiences, can you throw light on the same?
Yes, initially in the beginning when I started out back in 1996, 97, I was just a DJ. And that went on for a while till 2003 when I used to just DJ at that time. Then at around, for some time I started producing music with a friend of mine in Bombay, my childhood friend. I was living in Bombay for a year and a half. I had stopped DJing for a bit, and then, but that's when I started getting into production. And then finally I got back into DJing, and I didn't want to make that style of music anymore. Then I moved to Delhi and I met the boys there. We already had a plan that sometime in the future we would make music together, and finally I moved from Calcutta to Delhi, and then we formed Jalebi Cartel, and then we started producing together as a unit. And then finally when we split up, I started producing as a solo act. Then after a few years, I formed a bit of both with Ashwin, which is another live act we have. And when I started DJing, there were only DJs at that time. Even if you wanted to be a producer, we didn't have the equipment and the studios at that time and the computers, because it was very restricted in India especially. And to be a sound engineer, you needed to do your sound engineering from a certain institute, and they needed a science background, which I don't have. And then later SAE came into the picture, but by then I started working already. So I learned how to produce music while I was working for a radio station in Delhi, and I was DJing on the weekends, plus with the boys producing for Jalebi Cartel. So it started out like that, and now it's become a very important part of my career, that I need to keep producing and putting out music, since I play as a solo act as well as a live act.
What makes Ash Roy happy?
A good party with a packed dance floor makes me happy.
What makes Ash Roy sad?
Fake people.
If there was one wish that was granted to you, what would that be?
I wish we find a vaccine soon for this shit which is going on.
What do you think about the underground scene happening in India right now?
I mean, it's developed a lot, and from where it began and where there were only few artists who were pushing the scene back then to now, every city, even the smaller cities, have artists coming out of there. So it's become really, really big, and it's become one of the hubs of Asia. There are so many festivals and so many venues, so many artists doing different kinds of music. Festivals curate different kind of stages with different genres. So back in the day, it was just focused to either you play commercial music or you're playing underground music. And it was really difficult. But nowadays, clubs do particular genre based nights like techno or dubstep or drum and bass, or house. So it's evolved a lot, and a lot of international acts have been coming to India to play, and still more acts want to come to India to play, and more festivals are popping up. So it's really, really big.
You live in Berlin at the moment. How different is the music scene from India in Berlin?
It's definitely different in the sense that Berlin being the hub and the center of electronic and techno music in Europe, it's part of techno being part of their culture and their legacy. They have had legendary institutions of techno emerge out of this city. A lot of artists emerged out of this city. So it's totally different, and it's a privilege for me to live here and play in these venues and among these artists. Plus, from back in the day, they've had these legendary venues like Tresor, Berghain, Sisyphos. These are the bigger venues in the city, and I have played at Sisyphos quite a few times, played at Tresor, and it's absolutely different to play there because the audience that comes to listen to you is from different parts of Europe and the world. And most of them are really into this kind of music, and they know what the artist is going to play, or they know which artist to go and listen to. And even if they don't know the lineup, if they land up at a floor and they listen to you, they'll go back, and if they like your music, they'll go back and research you. So that way they are more focused and more there with the sound, and they know what they want basically. And it's not like they just go to a venue just to be cool because the venue is cool. So that way they're very serious when it comes to techno and electronic music. So yes, energy wise, definitely it's the same. And I mean, I love playing both sides of the world, Berlin or India. Playing back home in India is absolutely overwhelming as well.
These times that we are in, everything is going online. Where do you think is the music industry headed to?
ODing on live streams right now, and that's the reason why I even stopped doing. I did, I think, 2 live streams or 3 live streams, and I didn't want to do it anymore because I thought we were just overdoing it. A lot of other artists were also doing a lot. The bigger ones were doing every day. We needed a break. Right now, we should focus on, like, artists who produce music should focus on just producing and sitting in the studio and brushing up their skills and making more music. Eventually, it's going to go away. I know it's going to take some time, but gradually we'll be back, and I think we should just try and sustain ourselves and keep, stay healthy. Going online and just trying to get attention, it's not worth it. A lot of other artists have been doing master classes online. That's probably helping them survive, at least some kind of income coming in. But too much online, I don't prefer it so much. So I'm just spending more time in the studio and just waiting for the clubs to open. In fact, I have done a few gigs. I played in Hamburg. I played in Berlin of late. In fact, even I came to Calcutta. I was there for a month. I played in Calcutta. So slowly things will get better. Just keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
What changes do you wish to see in the music industry?
Personally, that everyone works together and has a healthy relationship with each other, so that the scene is much better and we can help each other. That's all I look forward to.
How has your journey as a music artist been so far?
It's been a roller coaster ride. There has to be ups and downs, but I look back and I see, sometimes I see myself, I said, oh, I'm stuck, maybe I should try something else. And but whenever I look back and see my journey, that where I've come from and from where to where, so it puts a smile on my face. So it has been tough, and it is going to still be a struggle, and I'll keep hustling, but I'll get there.
What does music mean to you?
My life.
Three advice on how to party safe and healthy.
Wear your mask, keep safe distance, and washing your hands and sanitizing your hands.
Thank you so much, Ash Roy, for taking us through your journey. Here is wishing you all the very best and tons of love your way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to all our listeners for tuning in today. Do catch me again next Sunday at 10 a.m. Have a great Sunday and enjoy this next track coming up from Ash Roy.